name is Katie, and welcome to the GreenlandQuilter channel. Nikolaj and I are here tonight together, and I hope everyone is having a great day today. So Nikolaj's gonna go ahead and tell them what you plan on working on tonight, and I'm gonna put this up in front of the camera where you can see it, and then tell them about it, honey.
That's motorized technique that I'm about to build for Andy from
Backyard Trucker.
So he can see it. It's technique. I cannot exactly remember how many pieces there are, but it's a motorized, battery-operated crane truck.
So this, it'll probably, he may not get it finished tonight. It'll probably take a couple of lives to get it finished. And this is his last weekend, you guys, with all of you. So, because when did you say you were flying?
Next Saturday. Next
Saturday morning, he's leaving to go back to his mistress. And, yeah, I'm not too, you know how it goes. But anyway, so you guys got him for maybe 2 or 3 more lives, and then he'll be gone again for a couple months. So
2 months, not a couple months.
I said a couple months.
Yeah, 2 months.
2 months is a couple.
So,
stop doing that. Couple means 2. Ask all the Americans; they'll tell you. Couple means 2.
Couples,
and the word few means more than 2. Ha ha.
Ha ha.
Ha ha. Anyway, that's what he's going to be working on. And tonight I will be starting doing the tutorial on a new block for from this book, this Quiltmakers 1000 block book. So what we're doing today, what I'm going to be showing y'all how to make tonight. And remember, I can't give you measurements because of copyright, but I can show you how to make the block. And now if you buy the book, then you can sew along with me on the tutorials. And I kind of forgot to put this up a week ago, but I did put it up 3 or 4 days ago in the GreenlandQuilter and over on my community tab of what block we were working on. So for those of you who have the book, we are going to be doing Railroad Crossing. That's what it looks like in black and white. I didn't have any color ink, so that's why it looks this way. It is it's block number 973, and it's on page 494. This block is seems to be pretty simplistic. It has 12 half square triangles in it. That's the hardest part of the whole thing, and the other is just you're making you have to cut for 4 triangles for the bigger part of this. Here, let me show you what I'm talking about. You have all of this is half square triangles, okay? And then you have half triangles here. So it's a very simplistic pattern. And if you follow the way the picture shows it, and hang on a minute, I'll show you something. If you look at the other picture, hang on, I have to get rid of all these measurement things.
Well, quick story to the Lego is it's 1,877 pieces. Okay,
so if you look at the picture, it more or less tells you how you should put this. See on the top half here, this side's been sewn, but this side's showing you in pieces how you're going to put it together. So I have already sewn this side just to make sure that there would be no issues with putting it together, and then I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so let me say hello to those who are already in the chat. Hello, Shirley. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Fur King. Hey, Teresa. I'm so glad to see you here. And hey, Lori Colgan. Welcome. How many do we have, Leland, baby? Okay. Because I'll have to repeat myself a couple times probably. Also, there's a poll up at the top. So if you'll answer the question and then vote, that would be great. And also I also have my super chat goal set up for anyone who's interested. I'm trying to raise money because I need a couple pieces of hardware so that I can make my lives more viewable for you. So I need a camera that with an apparatus attached somewhere on my desk where you can see down on the sewing table itself, and you see everything that's going on at the same time. So I'm going to use all my super chat YouTube money. I'm saving it up so that I can order these 2 parts and 2 different things I need. And my friend in New York is going to mail it to me once I've raised the funds to buy the equipment I need. So the super chat, that's what that's for. It's for paying for technology equipment. That's why otherwise I wouldn't even ask. So anyway, if you're feeling generous, you can donate. If you don't, that's okay too. I'm not trying to twist anyone's arm into doing anything. Also, those of you who have a channel, I'm going to show this to you. You can type exclamation selfie, and that will share your channel link. And you're welcome to share your channel link. Just don't do it back to back of each other, because the bot might shut you down. So, but just do it once in a while, share your channel. People in the chat generally will follow the links when they haven't seen a new channel, and they'll go over and help the smaller channels by subscribing and liking and all that kind of stuff. So I have a really great group of people that watch me, and most of us try to help each other out so that our channels can grow. And hello, Pat D. Hello, the Bud Files. And yep. Okay, now let me show you where I am before we start sewing this block. Hopefully none of this will fall off the board. Okay, so what I've done is I've set this up basically like the picture I was showing. Hold on a minute. We'll make sure everything's not going to slide off of here. So I have 1/2 of the block sewn, so you can see what it's going to look like, because it's all about these angles. Okay, so this side has been sewn together, as you can see. So what we're going to be doing is you have to make 12 half square triangles, and then by looking at the graphic, if you have the book, it's going to show you how you lay out these half square triangles, so you make sure you have them done in the right way. And the way I sewed this block was I started out and I sewed, see there's a little quarter triangle right here, or a half triangle. You have to join it to the end of this half square, and you have to make sure these angles are going in the right direction. And so you sew one of these to the end, then you sew 3 of these together right here. Then you're going to sew it to this half on this one side of this triangle. You're going to repeat the same thing you did on this side. You're going to do the half triangle and 3 more of these half squares here, and then you're going to join it to this side. Once you get this side done, then you're going to take this half triangle here and sew it to the other side here, and you get this whole block, this whole half block done. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I need to move my keyboard. Okay. So my intentions are, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lay this out on the sewing table where you can see what I'm going to be doing. If I can get it where you can see what I'm doing. And I want you to watch what I'm doing. So we have this half triangle, okay? Then we're going to put this other half triangle down here. And then we're going to lay out the half square triangles. And you're going for those that are new to doing this kind of thing, it's going to look odd to start with. Wait, I need to move this over. Otherwise, it's going to confuse you because there's another half triangle in here. Okay. Then we have this triangle that's going to go here. And then up here above the purple, you're going to have the same layout. And if I'm not careful, I'm going to get myself confused. And that's basically, we're going to be sewing this whole quadrant here will get done first. And then this will go on last. So what I'm going to do, and I bet I just turned that. I'm going to make sure that this matches my picture. So what I want to do first is I'm going to sew one side on first, and then I'll add the other side. So I'm going to move this set out of the way. Okay. And I'm what you call a visual learner. So I can look at a picture and get a better idea of how to lay something out as long as I'm paying attention. One of the things with me is I'm what you call angle challenged. And for those who don't know what angle challenge, it just means I can easily get some of these angles turned in the wrong direction and not see it until after I've sewn it. And then when I look at it, I'm like, okay, something's wrong. So by having this picture, I can make sure that I'm following along for the right direction. And let me see here. I also need to make sure I'm doing this in the right direction. Okay, so that can be this side. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew. Let me move this where y'all can see what I'm going to do. Okay. So this looks weird to you for now. I'm going to sew this to this. And then these two are going to get sewn together because I'm going to chain sew. And after I've sewn these two sets together, then I'm going to sew these two ones that makes two sets. Then I'll have this whole piece sewn, and then I'm going to put it on this angle of the triangle. Did you make half squares one at a time or in a faster way? I cheated and used half square triangle paper, Pat. But you can, there is, because I knew what size because it tells you what size squares to cut, I was able, I have a hang on, let me show you something. It's called it's from Fat Quarter Shop. Fat Quarter Shop has a cheat sheet. Let me find it and I'll show it to you. And it helps you determine what size, if you're going to use triangle paper. All right, where's that darn graphic at? Oh, here it is. I'm going to share the screen so I can show this to you. Babe, keep an eye on the chat because I can't see the chat when I do this. Okay, so because I like using, anytime I have more than 4 half square triangles, which in this case we were making 12, I will hop over and use half square triangle paper. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. For those that don't know what it is, I'll drag out some for you to look at. And what I do is, since you needed 12, I decided to use 4.5 inch, hang on. Oh, sorry. All right. And I just told you a measurement. Anyway, I chose the right size based on this cheat sheet. It tells you, so here's how it works. On the first column, it shows you cut size of what size you have to cut to make your half square triangles. Then it shows you unfinished size, and then it shows you finished size. And then the last column shows you what size paper you need to make these half square triangles. And a half square triangle finished size equals there's a thing down here at the bottom that says half square triangle finished size equals cut size minus 7/8 of an inch. The finished size is the size of the triangle you will need for your quilt pattern. And we are needing a specific size half square triangle here. And I used a bigger size so that I could, well, not a bigger size, but I'm going to show you what this paper looks like. Let me unshare the screen. Oh, I'm not good at explaining this yet, but at some point I'll get where I'm better at it. This is the paper I used. And as you can see, you can make 2 per piece. And because had to make 12, that means I need to go 2, 4, oops. Sorry, guys. I got everything in the way. All right. So I chose to use this long paper because I cut a long strip of fabric. So you need to have 6 of these pieces, which means that'll make 12 half square triangles. Okay. And half square triangles come in different sizes and they're on different kinds of rolls. Like this is you can use this type of half square triangle on a strip set. So if you have to make a lot of specific thing and you're using yardage, this style of paper is great for on yardage because you can cut one long strip the width that you need it and then determine how many triangles you're going to do and cut that paper to that size, and then you just lay it on top of your 2 strips and sew away and then trim it down or trim it, you know, cut it apart. That's what I meant to say, sorry. And this paper is simplistic. Now, yes, this costs money, but I'm going to show you my stash of half square triangles here in a minute. And I can tell you that I've had these, what size did they finish at? 4 1/4, Pat, because I know you have the book. Oh, are you having trouble with that part of it? Oh, sorry. Yeah, 4 1/4. Okay, so you even have this style where you have 2 rows. Here, let me show you. There's this style where you can do, see, you can make like squares. So you can actually lay this out on layer cakes.
Hi, Judy.
Hi, Judy. So let me show you my stash. If I don't have an accident trying to show you my stash. And I haven't bought any half square triangle paper in Fat Quarter Shop. Right after they bought out that half square triangle company, they bought it so that they could it could become part of Fat Quarter Shop's company. And because Kimberly loves using half square triangle paper or any kind of paper actually. And so she bought it, and then they have added to the inventory where there's more sizes than there used to be. And there's a square and a square paper. There's flying geese paper. I mean, you name it, she's probably come up with it just about. And then she also has what they call this style of paper piecing also that comes in pamphlets like this. So here's what my half square triangle stash looks like. And I have all different kinds of sizes here. Now, if I'm only making 4 half square triangles, I don't use this. I do it the old way, the usual way everybody's taught to do it. But if you're making a mass amount of them, I can tell you, because I've done this, I have made 480 half square triangles using paper and have it done within 5 hours. All of them. That means sewn, cut apart, the paper ripped off, all of it. It would have taken me days to do it, to draw lines and do all that extra stuff that you have to do and trim, when these are pretty accurate. And when you have a mass amount of them, this is the way to go. Because I hate drawing lines. I really do. It takes too long and it's boring. So I'll use the paper when I'm doing a mass amount of half square. So this is my stash. And I haven't bought any half square triangles paper, I'm going to say, since 2019. So this is how long this has been lasting me. But what it was is Fat Quarter Shop had this sale where if you bought so many, you saved a certain percentage, and the paper back then was pretty affordable. So I went and I built me a stash of this, and that's why I have different sizes. Now there is some in here where I have repeats, like I have more than 1 roll of this, or and that's okay, because you never know. The one thing I use the most of, I think, is the 2.5 inch and probably the 4.5 inch. I seem to go through those the fastest. And In fact, I'm about to run out of one of them. And when I do, I'll have to order it, you know, just one. But that's what that looks like. And I keep them all in this box so that they're not everywhere laying around, because I don't really have extra drawers or anything to put all of this in. So I just keep it in that box until I come up with a different way of taking care of it. Okay, hey there, Kristen, and hello, Judy Smith. Did that help, Pat, with what I told you, 4 1/4? All right, now back to what I was going to do. Let me make sure I have these laid out right. Okay, we got this. This is going that right. That's right.
Sherry's here.
That's right. Hi, Sherry. All right. So what I'll start out doing is I've already set my machine. I have a 1/4 inch foot on my machine right here. And I have, and my Janome has a setting where I can set it to the 1/4 inch seam allowance. So it moves the needle over to the right. And then all I'm going to do now is I'm going to take and chain piece. I'm going to go ahead and put these first 2 blocks together. Okay. If you need help, let me know. Okay, Pat? Anyone that's doing this, if you get stuck, just holler in the chat and I'll help you. So right now I'm going to go ahead and chain piece these 4 blocks. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this. Now you see I'm putting a half triangle on the end of this. All you need to do is make sure that the corner part of your triangle lines up with the corner of your half square. It's okay if you have this little hang up. Hey, Shirley, we have a guest that's hopping on. So you have this little tail sticking out, and that's okay. So all you just leave it the way it is. You're not going to do anything about it right now. And you're going to go ahead and sew this line. So let me pin it and then we'll sew it. Hi, Shirley.
Hi.
Welcome, welcome to the chat. This is Shirley from Alaska. Shirley, would you like to tell them who you are and what your channel's about?
I only have a little personal channel, but I just watch a lot of content people, and you're one of them.
Thank you. I think we have something in common because we both live in the Arctic.
Yeah, yeah. And we're warmer than the States, so that's always a fun thing.
Quite amusing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we're warm too, and it's very weird.
Weird. Actually, yes. You know, these periods of warmth, when I go back through my Facebook memories, it's not all that weird. I mean, it happens quite frequently. It just seems weird at the moment, I guess.
Well, for us, it's only been going on the last 5 years.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. The weather here and everything about the Arctic's changing here. We are definitely in a trend of where things are changing, and we're having longer summer months where we can do things, and because it's not as cold and snow is lessening, the whole thing. It's crazy what's going on. And I bet you I turned one wrong. Hang on a minute. Let's see if I did. Because no, it's okay. All right. So now, as you can see, I've sewn these 2 blocks together here. All right. And then these 2 together. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew these 2 sets together. Right now, this is I think the second or third time this fall, from fall to winter, where we've seen a huge fog bank roll in the middle of winter. This is the first year I've seen that. Right now we have fog everywhere, and it's because our temperatures are sitting at well, the temperature's down to 28 right now, but earlier it was 40 something. And
Oh,
it's about
wow.
to, it's supposed to rain. Instead of snow, we're going to get rain. And that's not a Greenland thing with rain.
We got 34 degrees right now, and
Sweet.
it's almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yep. Does your daylight hours change like it does here?
Oh, yeah.
And your nighttime, how long you're dark?
Yes, absolutely. And I love it when we gain the daylight in the summertime.
How many hours of daylight do you get at the height of summer?
Here, we're just north of Anchorage, and right before we start losing daylight, I think it's pretty much light all night long. I'm not awake at that time, but I'm pretty sure it's still light. But boy, it sure goes away fast when it starts going down.
Oh, yeah. We get 22 hours of daylight during the summer.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
Yep. And that's because we're south of the Arctic Circle. We're 60 degrees north of where we're at. Okay, I've sewn this on. And I'm going to press it before I add it to this half triangle right here. So, how long have you lived in Alaska?
Well, this time it's been 34 years.
Oh, wow.
And then I lived here previously up in Fairbanks before then, from 73 to 79. We left for about 10 years and came back.
That's awesome. Why does that
Yeah.
I need to check a seam here. Ah, I see what the deal is here. I need to fix this seam. Okay, let's see who else has come in. Sherry says, I got 4 of the big blocks sewn last night, added a bunch of 4 patches. Awesome. And then Rita, hello, Rita. Interesting. I was in Anchorage in December 1985, installing a computer system in one of the radio stations in Anchorage. That's what Rita said.
Oh, wow.
That's cool. We have a radio station that was put here during World War II that's at the top of one of our mountains. That was put in by the U.S. Military when the United States was keeping Greenland in protection during World War II because of the Nazi occupation going on in Europe.
Oh, wow.
So they've turned it into the museum now owns the radio station. We have a museum, and there's 3 buildings that now house the museum, and the radio station was kept intact. Now I don't know that any parts of the equipment are hooked up or anything like that, but they left it all intact so that you could take a tourist up there to see the radio station.
Oh, wow. I know down on the coastline in Seward, there's a couple spots there that in World War II, the military built bunkers. And I've never been, it's called Cane's Head. I've never gone out there. You can hike out there at low tide, or you can take a boat and get out there, and you can go in and see I don't know what they're called, where they put the big guns and stuff.
Turrets?
Yeah, you can go in and see that stuff. And then there's a couple on the outer islands that are not populated at all. I don't think you can go into those and see them, but if you go out on a tour boat or a fishing boat, sometimes they'll point them out to people where you can see where the bunkers were built, and it was all there to protect the mainland.
I can understand that. We have bunkers here at a little airport called Narsarsuaq, and it used to be called and this is in South Greenland. You can go by boat. Takes what, 2 hours to get there, baby?
Yeah.
So by boat it takes you about 2 hours to go from here to there, but if you fly on the helicopter it's 20 minutes. And that runway used to be called Blue West 1. and there's bunkers there, and they put a big huge cave inside one of the mountains that has a steel door on the outside, and that's where they stored all their ordinances.
Wow.
And so, but now it's no longer military. It's used for us to travel back and forth to different places.
Cool.
But we're going to get they're building us a runway. Something is wrong here. What did I do wrong?
No idea, Moda.
Oh, I know what I did wrong. I've got this turned wrong, I think. Wait, no. Oh, I know why. This tease is, yeah, I've got this turned the wrong way. Oops.
Hi, Jess.
Hey, Jess. See, it's very easy for me to get myself turned around on these blocks, especially when it comes to triangles. So what kind of crafts do you do? Do you do any kind of crafting?
Me?
Yeah.
Just the sewing.
What do you like to sew?
The quilt, piecing quilts.
Do you have any that you would like to share with us? Because I can spotlight you and let you show some of your quilts. Would you like to do that?
No. The only thing I've given them all away so far. I've been making them for family.
Mm-hmm.
But let me go in my room. I just finished a panel.
Okay.
And I can get in there and hopefully not show you the mess and just the panel.
Okay, I'll spotlight you so you can share.
Gotta get some light going on in here. Let's see what happens if I can turn that around.
Oh, look at there. That's beautiful. And you used the bear paw block too, didn't you?
Yeah, it was the first time I've done that.
That is super cool, honey. You should see her. Hey, hold it there so my husband can come have a peek. Babe,
Okay.
look. Can you see it?
Wait, there's 30-second delay here. Ah, nice.
That is really cool.
Thank you. It's the first time I've done those bear paw blocks, so.
Well, it looks beautiful. You did a good job. Did you also quilt it?
No, I don't quilt. I have a lady from our guild that does long arm quilting, and I send everything to her. But everything else, I might could put it on the Facebook page. I can show you. I have pictures of everything I've done. I just don't have them here because as I've done them, I've tried to give them away. Don't have the room really to stock up a lot of things. So, and I've only been doing this since a year ago this past October.
Okay.
So
you're getting started on this.
Yeah.
Anyone want to ask Shirley any questions? You're welcome to do so. I appreciate you hopping on. I keep forgetting to say, hey, I mention it sometimes in the live. I'll say if you want to, hop on a live, you can. And then generally what happens is people forget about it and don't. So.
Well, I just happened to look in my email and saw the notice, and I thought, okay, let me see what we're going on while I'm getting frustrated with my machine because I'm doing all of these cotton cut. I just got my cotton cut things yesterday.
Oh, you're doing the puzzle mystery?
Yep.
Which one are you doing?
Nightingale.
Nice. That's the petite one, isn't it?
Yes.
Look here, another PM cure.
So my machine, the needle plate has the long opening. And it wants to keep eating my little triangle corners.
Have you tried using a leader? Do you know what a leader is?
Yes, I just started doing it, but I'm going to keep trying, but I've already ordered a different needle plate.
Okay.
So,
That's
matter
good
of
if you
fact,
do
I
that.
did. That's why I was checking my email to see if the order went through. And then I saw your email about this. So I wanted to jump on and say hi.
Well, welcome to the community of quilting.
Thank you. I really do enjoy it.
Yeah, it's definitely keeps my brain busy, especially when Nikolaj is at sea and this is his last weekend home. So what happened here is I turned this triangle the wrong direction, and now I have it in the right direction. So that's what had happened.
Need to switch it back to you. I can't see what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, I already did it. You should have a delay. You're gonna have a little delay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'll be like a 30-second delay with these live. YouTube's like lags a little bit. Okay, let's see here. Everybody's Rita says, oh wow, panels are fun, and she says that's beautiful. Sherry says very nice. Rita says that is so wonderful. Wow. And then Judy says this is awesome. Fern King says very pretty. And then Rita says, wow, only been sewing for a couple of years, Shirley, question mark. And then Rita then adds to that, might be small pieces of fabric stuck under there by the feed dogs. She's probably got I had the same problem with my Singer Talent. It would eat triangles. That's why I ended up getting this big Janome.
It's frustrating, that's for sure.
Yes, it is, because you know it ruins if it gets sucked down into the plate enough, it ruins that piece of fabric.
It sure does. This is what I got done so far. I got two of these done.
Oh, those colors are pretty.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Let me show you guys what I'm doing now. I have this, now that I got this one strip done, I am going to sew it to this half triangle right here. So all you do is turn it face down, and you'll notice that there's this odd angle down here. Don't panic about that, because when we sew this and flip it back over and press it, it will line up. Okay, go ahead, Shirley.
Oh, I'm just watching you.
So I've been we have quite the little community here, and everybody sews, and you know, it's just been, I have gotten to know a lot of nice people because of this. Awesome. And I didn't start out with the YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is only a year and a half old. My second anniversary comes and I had the channel but never did anything with it. And then I put my first live video up on July the 2nd of 2023. So no, 2024, sorry.
So what made you want to start doing that?
2023, I'm sorry, I was right to start with. I live in Greenland, and I'm a Florida girl, in case you didn't know that.
That's quite a change.
I was raised in Florida. I lived from 1967 until 1967 to 2011. I lived in Florida, and when I moved here, you know, one of the things that a lot of people who've known me my whole life know that from like age 14, I've constantly had a camera in my hand. And so I have like 11,000 photographs of just Greenland alone.
Oh, nice.
Because I've been here for 13 years now. And I also started making videos when we started getting a smartphone. You could start making really good videos. And I kept thinking maybe I should make a YouTube channel to share my Greenland stuff. But then I would chicken out because I thought people would be mean to me, you know?
Right.
And, you know, and I've had enough meanness in my life. And so one of a fellow quilter friends, she kept saying, don't worry about people, and you should share your life in Greenland along with your quilting and stuff. And finally one day I pulled the trigger, and we had our first live. and it went way better than I thought it was going to go. I mean, it was a hot mess because you don't know what you're doing, but outside of that, everybody was kind and nice, and then before I knew it, it's just kind of taken off now, and I'm loving it for the most part. Every now and then I don't love it. But not because someone did something. It's just sometimes you can burn yourself out if you don't take time for yourself. And
Right.
so I'm learning that, and I'm learning a lot as I go along, and I'm getting better with it. And so basically and it took me a year to realize what I want to do with this channel. And basically this channel is about my life in Greenland. So it's going to be quilting and crocheting and gardening and cooking, and share everything I can possibly share of Greenland. So there's lots of videos with me going to the ice cap and flying in the helicopter. I mean, I can't get enough of this place. It's just so pristine, and outside of where we live at, all of the natural parts have never been touched by human beings because Greenlanders have been taught for 5,000 years to respect nature. So
Right.
things have not been destroyed here yet. And it is, as long as there's ice and stuff that I can show, I will keep sharing it with everybody, because it's just, there's no place like it.
Right. I used to back in the 90s when internet was first starting to build up and everything, and you could you get so much web space with your subscription. I had a web page that I shared all my pictures from down in Seward and the activities. Like every year they have a race, Mount Marathon race, where they race up to it's not to the top of Marathon, but to the race peak, which is, I believe, 3,000 feet.
Oh, wow.
And so I would share pictures of, the 4th of July festivities, which included the race, and just pictures. I would take some of the tourist tours in the helicopter and take pictures from there. And so I had a web page that had all kinds of content on it, but that's long gone away. So
oh, I have a triangle turned the wrong direction. Oh!
oh no.
No. I have to see. I make mistakes.
Hi, Quilting on.
Hey, Quilting on. And hey, Janice. Janice is going to be sewing with us tomorrow night. I am so excited about tomorrow night because it's going to be Janice, Charisse, and Shonda and myself tomorrow night. And we are going to sew and have a good time chatting. Janice and Shonda, I think, have never even met each other on a live. I think. I'm not sure about Charisse though, but either way, it'll be the three of us sewing tomorrow night. So it's going to be lots and lots of fun.
Awesome.
Because all three of them are channel creators. They all quilt, and Charisse actually has a quilting business. She's a pattern designer, and I can't remember how many years she said she's been doing it, but she's she's also a ambassador for the Janome Sewing Machine Company. So she just got a new machine that she gets to show off a little bit and talk about. And yeah, it's good people, real nice people.
What kind of machine do you have?
I have a Janome 6700P.
Oh, okay.
Here, let me turn it so you can see it. That's my baby.
Oh, really? I'm not?
You're my honey. You're my honey. That's my baby.
The honey bun sugar plum.
Yep. So Nikolaj bought this for me 5 years ago as a Christmas gift, and it was ordered in December and it got here in January. And when we took it out of the box on the dining table and I looked at it, do you know how many months it sat on my dining table because I was scared of it? 10 months.
Oh,
Because I've only ever sewn on a Singer sewing machine. And then one day I walked in the bedroom because he was on his computer, and I said, honey, you know, this is really ridiculous. And he says, what is? I said, that sewing machine sitting on the dining table. He's like, yeah, okay. Where are you going with this? I said, well, I think it's really silly that I'm still afraid of it. Would you mind helping me move it to the sewing room, and we'll put it in the place of the Singer? And he's like, I've been waiting for you to tell me you were ready to try to mess with it. And he did. He moved it. And it took me an hour and a half to thread it. Because, you know, going around this tension thing, whatever you call it, is different than a Singer. The Singer is like this, it just is self-threading almost. But with this, if you don't get that thread around it properly, you can just not get a good sew. And after I figured it out, and then the first time I put a seam in fabric, it was like, oh my God. This is what I tell everybody. It's like you go from a Singer, which is loud and noisy and clunky, because it was a little cheapy one I had, to this machine that sounds like a Corvette, but it's quiet. It's easy on the ears, but it's full of power. So, and it's 5 years old now, and I have not had any trouble with it at all. And I'm loving it, and I'm hoping to add another Janome to the house, because this is my only machine right now outside of that Singer, and I don't see myself ever going back to that Singer.
I have a Viking Sapphire 930 that my husband bought it for me when I started sewing.
Oh, nice.
And it is so heavy though that to take it to a class. So the other day he bought me, we went to a place called J&H here in Anchorage, and I told her, I said, I'm just looking not for anything particular, just a smaller machine that I can take to classes. I've not been to a retreat, but I plan on going to one in March with our guild. And she showed me this FAF Passport 3.0. So he bought me that. And that's sitting here on my table, but I did try a little bit of sewing with it. I need to get it out and work with it more because it is a bit different than my Viking.
So is your Viking like an industrial machine?
No, let me show it to you. It's just
nice. Wow.
Regular machine. And I just recently got this this table. It's a Gidget 2.
Uh-huh.
So that the machine sits down into it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I like it. But it's noisy. It's very noisy. That's why I'm not sewing while I'm on here, because it makes too much noise.
You can sew on it. We won't hear it. My Zoom has a setting on it, and it kind of it'll pick up on people talking, but background noise, I don't know what it does, but it pretty much takes it out. So unless you have a machine that's really, really loud, like the plastic ones that are full plastic, I noticed that they're loud if they're not sitting on some kind of padding, and a lot of times that will come through the Zoom really loud. But these heavier machines like what you and I have, they're not as loud. So you can sew if you want to, no problem. Let's see what's being said. Rita wants to know, what types of quilts have you made, Shirley? Just panels, or have you made other styles of quilts too?
I know I've made other styles. My first one, when I first started sewing, well, I started practicing and I just made like a table topper with some scrap fabric that a friend gave me. My first actual quilt, I bought a kit from, who did I buy it from? Think Fabric Hut. It was Prairie Flowers. And it just was squares and rectangles sewed together in a row and then all the rows together. I gave that to my granddaughter. I made a rag quilt, gave to one of my grandsons. I went to early spring, late winter, early spring, I took a class. And the class was called Why Not? And it was one of those 3D type quilts. It ended up being like 115 inches long. It was huge. And what else have I made? Did a mystery quilt class from the local quilt shop, and I'm still amazed that I made that quilt. I wish I could show you the pictures. I can't. But just, did some classes, and the panel was given to me for Christmas by my kids, so I just finished that. I've done Jelly Roll Race. I have that here, but I don't like it. It's folded up, put away somewhere. I didn't like the way the colors ended up coming together.
Sometimes that happens with the jelly race.
Yeah. So anyway, just, done a couple classes and done those quilts. And like I said, I'm amazed that I actually made it because they just go through step by step. And I enjoyed it so much. That's why I joined this Cotton Cuts this year. It's the first time I've joined that because I can't wait to see what it ends up looking like.
If you run into any problems, let me know, or because some of us, I've been doing the PMQ since spring of 2019, so I've been doing it for a while. And also, if you haven't done it, do you have a Facebook? Do you use Facebook?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in Facebook, if you'll put in the Google or in the search box, Cotton Cuts Fabric Group, join that, number one, because there you can also ask questions there. Also, I have, if you want to share pictures of your finished quilts, because you mentioned you had pictures, I have a Facebook group for the Greenland Quilter group. Just put in the search box Greenland Quilter, and you can drop your pictures in there. As long as it's quilt related or crafting related, you can. The only thing that I don't allow in the group is people selling t-shirts and stuff.
Hoodies.
Right.
Because our group is not for selling merchandise. It's for sharing, being a community and sharing, and it's a safe place to be. It's set to private so that outsiders can't see what you're posting. That's to keep everybody's Facebook account safe. And and you can post as many. You're welcome to post as many quilting pictures or crafting pictures as you want. There's no limit.
Okay. I did join that Cotton Cuts, and matter of fact, my first question right away had to do with the sewing. My 1/4 inch, where they have their little
notch,
came short of that. And so I asked, am I supposed to do a true 1/4 inch, or do I sew point to point? And most of the replies back were point to point. So that's what I've been doing, but my blocks are coming out a tad small, but they said as long as I was consistent, it would be okay.
Yeah, as long as you, whichever way you choose to do it, if you do that through the whole thing, it will come out the way it's supposed to. Consistency is more important than, because some people will do scant 1/4 and I do just a 1/4. And I keep it consistent all the way through, and it will come together the way it's supposed to.
Right.
Yeah. And, as you progress through it, you'll get more confident with it, and it'll get easier where you're not struggling.
Yeah, like
Okay.
this square ended up, the half square triangle is just a tad, it's probably 1/8 of an inch short from the square that I had to sew it to. And I did it point to point like they said, so I don't.
What I don't do point to point, I just keep a 1/4 inch, and sometimes that little notch you're talking about might not exactly be right there, but in the end, it always comes out, and I don't end up with any trouble. So
Yeah.
do what's easier and more what's good for your brain. And if your brain is telling you, I don't like to do it this way, don't do it that way. Put the
Yeah.
1/4 inch seam in and go with it. Just be consistent. That's the main thing. There's some more comments here. Let me see. Rita says you did great on your sewing. And then let's see. Hello, Annette. She says, happy Friday, quilty friends. And then Annette says, Viking is a quality machine. I will sew on my Viking 6690 from 1980, their first computerized model. And then
Wow.
Quiltanon says, that's impressive, Annette. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that the Viking machine is a good machine. They sell a FAF here too sometimes. And I thought about test running one, as a small, just to have a backup machine. But they got like 7,000 or 8,000 kroners on that machine. And because I know so little about FAF, I don't know if I want to sink that kind of money into it and then discover I hate the darn thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Probably not any sewing machine places there, huh?
Nope, there's no sewing machine companies or sellers or shops.
Right.
There's no such thing. There's not even a fabric shop. My Janome came from a shop in Copenhagen, and how I come about buying it was that, sorry guys, I had to fix this. I've fixed it now, so let me show you what it looks like, and then I'll continue on with my story about the shop. So this is how it looks like. You'll see there's a tail sticking out of here. That, just leave it alone. You'll see what'll happen with it. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the other side, and I need to make sure that I line these half squares up in the right direction. Okay, so when I talked to Nikolaj, I said, I need another machine because the Singer was driving me crazy. I was 2 years into sewing quilts, and the biggest trouble was these. It was eating my half square triangles left and right because that hole's too big. And I tried leaders, I tried everything, and it just wasn't working for me. And he says, well, you're going to Denmark. I was going to pick up, it was when I went to pick up Nora.
What?
It was when I went to get Nora, right?
I think so.
Because she's 6 now. So, yeah, that timing sounds about right. It was a year before I got the machine, or less than a year. So anyway, I was going to Denmark to pick up a puppy. While I was there, I got on the metro and went one drop off over because there was a sewing machine fabric shop over there. And so I went over there, and when I walked, I was going to buy a Bernina. That's what I was going to do. Because everybody is preaching, buy a Bernina, because I had asked a lot of questions of what machines do you think's great, blah, blah, blah. And this is before I had YouTube. I was asking this on Facebook. And everybody kept preaching about buy a Bernina, buy a Bernina. And so when I went in the door and I started talking to the shop owner, she asked me what I was looking for. And I said, well, I said I would like to see her Berninas because she had a Bernina sign on the outside of the door. And then she says, why do you want to buy a Bernina? And I told her, I said, because everybody says that the Bernina machine is an extraordinary machine. And so she showed me a couple of the Berninas, and they looked small, and they looked like they were very plasticky, the ones I saw. But then she says, what are you going to use it for? And I told her, she said, and so she showed me this 6700P. And she sat me down and we looked at it, and she explained, it was a workhorse. It had a lot of good ratings on it. and that it was mostly all metal except for where they have the computer part of it on it. And she was giving me all the reasons why to buy one. And then she told me, she says, and if you wait till December, we're going to have this machine on sale. I'm like,
wow.
oh, okay. Something like we were going to save 4,000 because Nikolaj had given me a kroner amount I could spend, and it was pretty high amount. And when she said that it would be knocked down by like 3,000 kroners, I'm like, I said, so can I call you on the phone when I'm ready to pull the trigger and order it? And she said, sure you can. So when I got home and I showed it to Nikolaj, Nikolaj's like, okay, if you want to wait till December, we'll order it in December so we can get the sale price. And it turned out that by buying it with the sale price, I ended up paying about $1,800 for it.
Oh, wow.
Which is, because right now, if you go online and look this machine up in the United States, it's between 3,000 to 3,500 for a new 60 piece. So I saved a lot of money when I bought it on sale. And now if you go look at the price of it at that same shop, it's got 16 or 17,000 kroners on it, and I only paid 12.
Wow.
So, and you know, and I had never owned a Janome in my life. All I've ever sewn on was a Singer, so I didn't know what to expect. That's why I was afraid of it when I first pulled it out of the box, because I'm like, what if I do something and mess up some like the tension knob, or because I don't, you know, when my mom started letting us use the Singer machine, she had an older Singer that had that tension knob on it, like what's on this one, and she always told us girls, you leave my tension knob alone. Don't you touch that tension knob. You touch that tension knob, I'm going to be very angry with you. So we didn't touch that tension knob. And so when I got this Janome, I saw this tension knob. I'm like, uh-oh, I don't know anything about that. You know? And but I do not have any regrets. I love the machine. If anything, I've been eyeing the new M17, not the 17. Which one was it I wanted, babe?
M8.
Oh, it's the M8, not the 7. I don't want the 17. The 17 does embroidery, and I'm not interested in that. But that they've come out with the new M8, which is a newer version of the M7. But the M8 has a stitch regulator, so you can free motion quilt on it. So I've been eyeing that, and I think that probably in the next year or so I'm gonna buy it. But I'm waiting for the economy to stabilize and for things to regulate, because right now everything's so pricey. I don't want to spend high price if the machine prices come back down after all this inflation dissipates. So I'm waiting on that.
Well, Katie, I need to get off of here, so it's good chatting with you.
It's nice chatting with you too, and thank you for coming on over.
Oh, sure. Thank you for the invite.
Okay, well, make sure you come back. You know, you're welcome to come sew with me anytime. Just, you know, my lives are Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays usually, and I have other lives, but the main ones are that time of the week. So,
okay,
you know, if you're interested in sewing, let me know, and I'll put you up with us.
Okay, take care.
Yeah, you too. Bye. Okay, let me get back to the machine here. Or the Viking is equal to me. Okay. And that says, I call my machine Lagartha. I bet I just said that wrong. Or is that Lagatha? After the legendary shield mating warrior. Oh, I did say it wrong. I know who you're talking about, the Viking maiden. After the legendary shield maiden warrior and leader. And then Sherry says, they are great machines, but they are not made in Sweden anymore. And then Annette says, nope, not anymore. They were bought out and merged sometime in the 2000s. Who did they merge with? And then Annette says, going to lurk a bit while I get dinner going. Quiltanon says, we were not allowed to use gingers growing up. Yeah, my mom had a pair of scissors, and if you touched her scissors, ooh boy, she'd get feisty, especially if she caught you using them. And Fern King says, your color choice of fabric is pretty. Thank you. And then see you, Shirley, from Cherry. Okay, now I need to pick, let me get these two sewn here first. It is hot in here, honey.
I'll open the door.
I'm over here frying. I got sweat running down the side of my face.
Oh, boo-hoo. Get over it.
All right. Probably all these lights.
Probably, yeah.
Uh-oh. Why does that sound weird? Okay. I need to.
Oh, yeah. All right.
So what I'm doing is I'm sewing the other side, you guys, and then we'll attach it to this side of the triangle. Sorry, I got sidetracked telling the story. Okay. Oh, what we got go? Something happened.
Wasn't me.
Oh, the bobbin didn't catch on the bottom for some reason. All right, let me get back up here. I thought it sounded weird. Who?
Helen.
Hey, Helen. Yeah, this one didn't even sew at all. That's funny.
Quilter downloaded the quilt pattern for the
Okay, what in the world is going on here?
Hi, Helen.
Hi, Helen. Downloaded the quilt pattern. It looks fun. Did you? Did you find a copy of the RailRoad block quilting on? So tiny. Okay. Seems like it keeps moving.
Yeah.
Is there another? I'm working on the railroad crossing block quilting on. That's what I'm teaching right now, or trying to anyway. It came out of the 1000 block book. There is lots of railroad crossing blocks on that are free, but this block looks different than the ones I found online. What were you going to say?
Just me.
Something's missing.
Cut it out.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's a fourth half square triangle missing. Uh-oh. Nora, get down.
And Jan. Hi, Ann.
Hi, Ann.
Hello, Jan. Finished piecing my t-shirt for loading it tonight. Sewing UFOs now and watching you all.
Something is wrong here. Man, I am just foobarring this block, other side of this block. What in the world? This is going the right direction. 1, 2, 3. And then there's 1, 2, 3. Oh, I know what the problem is. I have this, y'all, I keep doing this block. Y'all you guys get to laugh at my expense here because I turned this same little half triangle in the wrong direction again on the different block though, but on the other side. Oh, I'm just too funny. That's okay though. We get to use the ripper a little bit, so you're seeing this done in real time, so you know that nobody's perfect, especially me. My angle challenge self always gets in the way of things. I thought I might have had something turned the wrong way. So I'm going to take it out and we're going to do it again and do it the right direction. You might as well unplug it so it'll stop doing that and then power it off.
What power it off?
Just completely turn it off.
It's turned off. Just keep doing that again and again.
I thought I saw that it was on.
Nope, it's off. Speaker just teasing us, that's all.
Yeah, we have a Bluetooth speaker and it's a Bose, which is supposed to be a good speaker, but we have nothing but trouble with it when it comes to power. It doesn't stay charged, and when you're charging it, you'll hear it beeping on and off saying that it's not connected, then it's connected, then it's not connected. It's very annoying. All right, let me look at that picture again. Make sure I have this turned the right way. All right, and then this block is supposed to go like that. Okay. It was just I had this half triangle turned the wrong way. Sorry, guys. It doesn't just happen to you, says Anne. And Helen says, my nephew's name is Nico too. Yeah, I just call him Nico for short. His actual name is Nikolaj. Still doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get this turned. All right. Anne says, hello again. Finished piecing my t-shirt quilt. Loading it tonight. Sewing UFOs now and watching y'all. I'm glad you had come. Quilting on, this is the block we're working on right here. The railroad crossing. That came out of the 1000. It came out of my book. It came out of this book. So basically what I'm doing is tutorials out of the book. I just can't give the measurements because of copyright infringement laws and stuff. And I'm thinking I want to call it, I'm thinking about changing what I call it. I might call it Quilt Block Studies. But this block, the only reason I'm having trouble is because I'm doing this on a live and because I don't know. If I can mess something up, sometimes I do. Okay. Don't forget to do the poll up above, y'all. All right. How's everybody's weather right now? Share with me what your weather is and if you've got snow or not in places that don't normally snow. And what your temperatures are. I posted a link for the book Quilting On in the description box of this video. And I've also, I think I shared the link over in my Facebook group, the GreenlandQuilter Facebook group. You should be able to find it there too. Amazon was selling it, and it's not on Amazon anymore. You have to go buy it from a different vendor on the internet. I don't know why they stopped selling the book. Maybe they can't get it, or I don't know. It's weird that Amazon doesn't have copies of it. Very strange, in fact. or they've sold out and just haven't reordered one. Who knows the reasons why? All right, I'm going to press this real quick with the hot iron.
$70 to 80 degrees.
Wow, somebody's got warm temperatures. She say where?
Yeah.
Where do you have those temperatures at, Helen? And Pat says no snow. Temperature is 34 degrees with a wind chill of 20. Ooh, that's cold, Pat. Okay, now I have this long strip done. And basically, we are going to sew this seam down the side here. After I get all these little thread tails off of here. Okay, so all you need to do is you're going to line it up. So you're going to turn it face, and you're going to make sure that this seam lines up with this seam, because there's a seam here. And you want to make sure it's lined up properly.
And the books had some.
Yeah, books. Yeah, that's what I shared the link on.
Southern California. Helen.
Ah, that's why it's so warm. Man, California's like the Mediterranean. They get cold sometimes, but not a lot. Except if you're in the mountains anyway. All right, let's get these lined up. Okay. Basically, you probably noticed that I use pins. I don't know if I'll ever get where I don't use them. Now, sometimes I don't use them if I know that, when you first, it's like if you, with the PMQs, a lot of times, those, because they're die cut, they'll be very pristine, and you can get away with, not having to pin to start with, but I've noticed as you start messing with these blocks, I end up having to pin just to make sure I don't end up with something wonky. I would prefer.
We had rain and cold weather for
Much of the United States has got that polar vortex going on, though. Alrighty then. So if she's in California and getting rain, that's good. Especially Southern California where they need water. All right. I want to make sure that I don't have. Okay. Now we've sewn that side on, and I'm going to look at it and see if that seam lined up, and it did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it over to the iron and press this, and then I'll show you what we do next.
Ciao. Hi, Patty. It's a crane truck. This one. It's a technique. Battery-driven, battery-operated crane truck.
Okay, now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this half triangle and we are going to sew it on this side here, the shorter side. See, there's like, you have the longer of this side. Wait a minute, let me see if I can get this in the camera properly. So you can see what I'm doing. You have the long side here and then you have the short side, and this half triangle is going to go on the short side here. So we're just going to turn it and pin it on. And remember when you're working with these triangles that aren't part of a block, don't pull on them too much because you can stretch, since they're on the bias, you can easily stretch them. And you don't want to stretch it.
It's a big truck. I think it's like that size. Wait till I'll see what I'll try to work on it fast as I can so you can see how it looks like. Or if you can record it and put it on her YouTube page.
Should be able to look it up on the Lego site, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a minute. They want to know the size of the truck?
No, I'm just asking about
Did someone ask about the size of the truck?
no, I was just a Patty said, oh my god, that's so cool. That's so cool. Very nice truck. I don't know how big it is.
Okay, now I've got that side sewed on. And then I'll open it up so you can have a peek. You probably noticed I haven't trimmed off the dog ears yet. I'll do that directly soon. Okay, and now we have the other half of this block done. And then this is, I'll go over and I'll press this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sew the other side onto this. And we're going to end up with a pinwheel here in the middle.
John said,
hey, John. And hey, Patty G.
Amazon has the Quiltmakers 1000 bucks book and also the Quilters 1000 bucks book, which are the same book. Just
oh, it's a different title? Quilters. Okay, I'll look into that. Let me write that down since you mentioned that, because when I tried to find it the way it's written, and if I can, if that's the case, then I can post a link and people can buy it from Amazon, because I would buy it from the place that sells it cheapest. Thank you for telling me that, John. I appreciate that, because that'll definitely make it easier to, if I can find it, then I can share it with everyone. Quiltanon says she avoids Amazon. You do what you have to do. righty. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I haven't trimmed off the dog ears yet. I'm gonna leave them until I sew this. We are going to sew this side to this side, and this is all on an angle, on a diagonal. Make sure that when you're lining the center here up, that you get these two half square triangle points. Make sure that you don't cut off your points, because this is going to make a pinwheel right here. And you have a seam you have to line up here and down here on this side. The rest of it, there's no seam. So you have 3 seams that you have to line up right here, right here, right here, and right here. Okay? And so you're going to turn it facing each other. And what I like to do first, excuse me, is I'm going to take and put a pin down here on each corner, or the end of it, into the block. When you're doing this, though, be gentle, because we have biases all over the place. All right, so let's get this side pinned, and then I'm gonna come over here and do the same thing on the other end. So it is cheaper on Amazon than books. Okay, good. Is your block part of the Underground Railroad ones that brought the slaves out of slavery on their way? Helen, that is a really good question. I don't know the answer to that, but I will look into it. I'll have to see which one of the railroad crossing blocks did that. And, uh-oh, wait a minute. Nope, this just got... Okay. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to align. So I did press that seam. No. Part of that seam got pressed open and not all of it. That's interesting, because I forgot to do something. So what you want to do, or what I do to line this center up, is I'm going to put a pin right through this point, right at the point, not through it, not below it, right at it. Because I want to line both these points up so that when I sew it, I can get these 2 points close to each other, but not on top of each other. Because you want to keep the point for this pinwheel. And I am having trouble with this. Let's turn it around and try the other side.
Hi, Teresa Louise.
Hi, Teresa Louise. Good to see you. I'm not getting mad. I'm just saying, dang it. Because it's not wanting to let me put that pin through there, which is kind of odd. There's a lot of bulk right here, for one thing. Probably should have used my acorn pin before I pinned all this together. Well, technically, the one I'm using is not even an acorn pin anyway. It's a generic. Boo-boos are always, for the most part, can be fixed unless it's something drastic. All right, now we're going to line this seam up next. Anyone saying anything, babe? Okay. We're coming along with this block. We might just get it finished. Even though I had a little bit of a head start with it. All these thread tails I forgot to cut off. Yeah.
Where is it? Just got back from the store, 1,000 eggs, and are now 11.55.
Eggs are crazy right now over there.
It's like 70 kronas. Dang.
Yep, I should not complain about our prices on our eggs, should I?
No. That's crazy, Teresa Louise.
Well, so much for thinking you're going to get cheap egg prices at the beginning of the year or anytime soon. I think everybody needs to get their own chickens.
Hi, Zaza.
Hey, Zaza, welcome, welcome. Maybe everybody needs to start having their own chickens.
Oh, heck no.
I wish I could convince my honey, but he keeps saying, nope, no chickens. I'm like, oh, I would love to raise our own chickens and have our own fresh eggs. This block is really interesting. If I have a little, ouch, and I keep pinning myself on top of it. All right, let me see. I need y'all to, let me think. What can I ask you a question on? What quilt block do you find the hardest to make and why? What quilt block do you find the hardest to make and why?
Quilting said, yeah, I have room for some chickens that clear it from Hoffman. See? Get the same issue with you and I.
Well, you can't just go pull the trigger without your husband because especially if your husband has to build you a chicken house. Or help you build one anyway. Jess says, I'm incubating chickens in about a month for the school project. I think that's the coolest thing ever, Jess, that you're doing this with the kids. When they start hatching, the kids will be oohing and ahhing and wanting to hold them. Teresa says, I would have chickens, but it's too cold. I don't want to deal with frozen water and plowing through the snow. There's somebody here in our town that has chickens. I'm not sure how she handles them during the winter months. I guess I should go up there and introduce myself and find out what she does. But it's not going to do me any good if my husband keeps vetoing the idea.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point if he keeps saying no? Because we're not going to fight over it. If he says no, he says no. I mean, you know, unless I can give him a really good reason for having them. And I'm not sure what would qualify as a really good reason. Now, if we lived in the United States, I'd probably get chickens just because of the price of eggs, because that's just ridiculous paying $11 for eggs. That's just highway robbery.
Probably.
Okay, let's sew this. I have lots of pins. Now, I'm probably not going to trim this block on the live because, oh, I might, nope, I don't want to have to move the camera to do it. So I'm probably not going to trim it down, or I mean, trim it up. So when you see the things not totally lined up straight, uh-oh, I should. It just needs trimming, that's all.
We also, we also have cows and horse and a horse and rabbits and dogs.
I had 4 horses before I moved here.
Then just oh, and I agree with curved blocks too. Then so I don't like blocks where lots of seam come together.
All right, let me see what they're saying. Yep, Zaza, I would need a shed that was warm enough for them in the winter. And part of the problem is y'all have seen from my videos and pictures how our house gets buried when the wind comes. And if we put a chicken house close enough to the house, the problem would be, what if the chicken house and part of the house gets buried in snow? How will I get in there to feed them? So there's that. And that might be the reason he keeps vetoing the idea of it, is because we don't have the proper setup to even try to do something like that. Quilting says matching point blocks. Anne says curved blocks were hard when I first started, but when you learn the trick, it's easy now. Jess says anything with Y seams, I get timid. Pat says, I'm not sure I have one. If I take my time, I can normally figure it out. So she doesn't have a block that intimidates her. Jess says, oh, the whole school will be in my classroom. I put a brooder box in the hall for the kids. Oh, that's cool. And then Quilting says, we also had cows and horses, which you read already. And then Zaza says, they make a huge mess digging around in the dirt. Here, there would be plenty of grass for them to dig around in. Jess says, and I agree with curved blocks too. Zaza says, I don't like blocks where all the seams come together. Helen says, quilt on. We used to have all these animals when we were kids. We're young and over it now. She's over it now. Hey, Lana. And then Judy says, I don't think I struggle with any blocks, not bragging. I just keep trying it till I get it or watch YouTube videos. And then, yep, good to see everyone today, says Quilting. All right, let me finish sewing this now that I've finished reading all that. Okay, we're almost there. And then I'm gonna take it over to the iron and press it before I show it to you. And then this block will be done. Except for trimming it anyway. Okay.
I struggle with bad instructions.
Bad instructions? Yeah, you know, when people write patterns, sometimes how we understand them is not how they wrote them. I've had that happen where I've had didn't understand something. These seams are not lining up.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, this is so hot. Oh my gosh.
Salsa, coconut, and lava.
It said what?
Salsa, salsa, coconut, and lava.
I am working on perfecting my 1/4 inch seam to get those perfect blocks. Each block fabric is different. Yeah. And then Lana says, I'm helping mom in the kitchen, took a break and saw you in. I couldn't leave without saying hi and giving a thumbs up. I'll have to watch the replay. Stay warm. Thank you, Lana, for coming. I appreciate it. And then I think, yep. Where's that spray bottle? Oh, there it is. I need to put more starch in this pen. Uh-oh, I put too much in there. That's not going to be cool. Stinky starch. Okay, I'm almost there, y'all. Babe, you know that tote my laptop's sitting on top of? I need to get to it from that first block. I need to take out so I could see last time's block. There's a little bit of a size difference, but not much. Probably when I trim this, it'll be better. Okay, before I show you the block I've done tonight, this was 2 weeks ago when we did this block. Remember this one? Now the one I've been showing you how to do tonight is this one. And I used purple, bluish gray, and this darker color you see here is teal. Hey, Patricia. Hey, Andrea. So this is the finished block. And I'll put it back up underneath the other camera so you can also see it better here. Maybe. This must mean this camera's not sitting straight. Okay, so that's what the block looks like. This is the railroad crossing, and this one was called, this other block is the French twist. So now we have 2 blocks done. I'll measure this. It needs to be trimmed up a little bit. I haven't done that, and I'll do that after the live. I'll trim it up, but the measurements probably, and I have to fix that center seam right there, looks like. Oh, I'm being picky. Can you see that the center seam is a little off? Anyway, this is the railroad crossing. So this is the block I showed you how to do tonight. All right, I have a question for y'all, but I'm gonna do the poll real. I'm gonna look at the poll and then I'm gonna put a post. So 2 weeks from now we're gonna do another block. And in the on my community tab of YouTube and also my Facebook group, I had posted pictures of the 4 blocks that y'all voted on. And so what we have out of that group of 4 blocks, we have the let me look here. Or not, I went past it, I think. One was with that French twist.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy. Okay, so we either can start on the nested bear paw, or we can do, what was the name of that other one? Hang on, I'll share the screen with you guys. Hold on, let me go find it on Facebook. That way I can show you what I'm talking about to refresh everybody's memory. Thank you, everyone. Did y'all like how I did the block? Was it too confusing the way I did it, or did you think I did meh or okay? What did you think about how I taught it? And y'all, I'm not going to get my feelings hurt because I know I struggled with it a little bit this time. Let me see how RailRoad. And then find that poll. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to share the screen with y'all. Has anybody said anything? Okay. Let's share the screen. All right. So we have now done the French twist, which is this one right here, number 4, and number 3, the railroad crossing. So that leaves number 1 and number 2. Now, the one that was the most voted on was number 1. Okay, but now I'm going to make a new poll in the channel live. Do you want to see me do the tutorial on number 1, or do you want to see me do the tutorial on number 2? Which one would you like to see me do next? Number 1 or number 2? And let me go fix the poll so you can do that. Hold on a minute. Gotta unshare the screen. And if you need to re-see the blocks again, I can do that. Come back to the chat. All right, with the poll that was already up, let me read the question and then I'll change over to the new poll. Everybody's saying number 1, or 2 people said number 1 so far. Yeah, go ahead and tell me in the channel. Number 1 or number 2? Let's see how many we get. Do you need to see the picture again? Patty says number 1. So far that's 3-0. Number 1 or number 2? Do you need a shoo-shoo? No? Yeah, maybe. Okay. Number 1 or number 2? Linda says number 1. So now we have 4-0. How many are viewing, Dave? 5-0.
23.
Oh.
21.
21. Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody's okay. All right. Looks like the general consensus is let's do number 1. All right. So I'll what I'll do is let me go back to the picture again.
Laura, shoo-shoo. You want to go shoo-shoo?
Let me go back to the picture. So on number 1, I will I'll probably do like one side of this, one quadrant over here ahead of time so that I can get a feel for the block, because there's many pieces. You have the pinwheel in the middle. Then you have 2 of these half triangles sewn together to make another half triangle. And then you have 2 4 patches with 2 half square triangles that make the hourglass. So there's 3 pieces just on each of the 3 pieces on 2 opposite corners, and then a different setup on the opposing corners. So this is going to be an interesting block to sew. So it'll be fun seeing how difficult, what the difficulty level will be on it. But it'll be, you know I can get this done. So, all right. Go back to the chat. About the poll, I asked, what style of block do you love creating the most? 37% said they like doing squares or rectangles. 23% said they like blocks with the angles. Wow, 33% said they like FPP, and 7% said EPP. That's good, and that was with 30 votes. Okay, so I'm in the poll, and let's see if I can come up with another poll, because I'm going to show you something I'm working on that I'm designing it as I go along. It's going to be it'll have a modern vibe to it, so you'll see part of it, but I'm going to work on some of it during this live because it started at 7:30, 8:30. Yeah, I think I want to go 30 more minutes. Cool block next. Okay, so that'll be the next block, and then on the 2 weeks from that week, we will do the nested beer paw, and then when we've done that, then I will be posting 4 more pictures on my community tab and also on my GreenlandQuilter for you to vote on, so that we can determine what order we're going to do those blocks in. I'll be pulling 4 more blocks from this. Once we finish the first 4, I'll pull 4 more out of here. I'm just going to randomly pick something, and then we're going to learn how to sew them, and we're going to keep going. This whole year we're going to be just making blocks from here, unless I decide I know how in the channel, because I know some of you were doing some of Donna's sew along with these quilt builder card decks. How many of you have these sets of boxes? There's 3 boxes so far, but I just heard this past week that number 4 is coming out. How many of you have these boxes? Put in there, yes, I have it. Put in there, no, I don't have it. Or if you have one of them, or you could put, wait, stop. Here's what you can do. If you don't have any of them, put no. If you have them, which ones do you have? List them in the chat. And something happened. Linda says, it's been a long work week and dealing with hubby and I'm going to lurk and relax with my coffee. Linda, I hope everything goes okay with your honey. I'll be sending prayers and good thoughts your way. Janice says she has 2 of them. Quiltanon says nope. Andrea says nope. Patty G says nope. Teresa says no. Okay. So maybe more than I think that doesn't have it. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to show you what I'm working on. I'll have to show you a picture first. All right, let me go find the picture.
She's really good at wasting time.
Who is? I told you, she smells Mother Earth. That's going to happen.
No, it's more like I took her out, just want to sniff a little bit and go back again. Wasting my bloody time with this.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm working on a block that looks like this, but I am modifying it, and it's going to be longer than it is wide. So I've already started on it, and I have no measurements to work with. I'm just going by how the picture looks, and I'm changing what happens down here at the bottom. I haven't made a decision on whether I'll change and add another what looks like a flying geese, but it's not really a flying geese, I might add another one up above it because I'm making it like a modern, it's going to have a modern feel to it. And I'll show you where I am on it. And then I'm going to sew. Right now I have this part to do. I'm going to sew this on because I'm doing it in a strange way so that I can see how it's going to look. And then this is going to be a gift for someone. And yeah, so, and I want it to have that little bit of a modern vibe to it. So that's what I'm working on. I saw this picture. I don't even remember where I saw this picture, and I've had this for a while, but this did not come with any measurements at all. Okay. Now then, let me show you where I'm at on it. Okay. Let me see if I can figure out how to. Need to take all these off.
Big family expedition.
Hi, big family. I'm going to kind of temporary pin this on here so I can stand it up where you can get a good view of it. Put it right here. Because I know it'll fall off the board if I don't pin it. Because I'm showing you where I'm at with it right now. And I'm going to be adding these sides onto it first. And then we'll be working on the top and bottom of this block. Okay, this is where I am on the block. So I'm going to sew these two sides, this side on and this side on. And then what the plan is at the bottom, see at the top, you're going to already have this up here on the top. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can pin it. This is when I need a big design board. And then hold on a minute.
Nancy said this looks like India.
An Indian block, is that what she said?
I think probably.
Okay. And then down here, I may put one, okay, so here's what I'm trying to say is when I get this next row done, then I'm going to have a solid gray coming through here. And then I'm going to do another two of these, but in the blue. So there'll be a solid empty space here, and then another set using the blue and gray. And then down there on the bottom, I will add another orange. So there's going to be like this, like floating flying geese. And I'm not sure if I haven't decided on, I kind of think I should turn these around and make them go down. Like what you're starting here at the top, I was thinking maybe I could, instead of having them facing up this way, make them turn the other direction since I'm going to have floating flying geese down here at the bottom. I'm doing good. What about you, big family? And if you told me your first name, can you refresh my memory again? Okay, so that's what I'm working on right now. And it's just a side project I'm working on. And I thought since I was going to spend just a few more minutes on this live, I'd go ahead and sew the sides on it. Do you like the block? Okay. All right. Someone from this at QuiltCon mentioned that there was a quilt at the Phoenix QuiltCon of the statue that's in Missouri of the Native American woman with that they made a big huge statue in honor of. And I thought, gosh, I would like to see that quilt because it sounds fantastic. That is an awesome block. It's very vibrant. Yeah, the idea was the vibrant, and the person that I'm gifting it to likes gray as a background. And I'm using I'm using a lighter gray for the actual block itself. And then I'm using this little bit darker gray here as the rest of the background for the rest of the block that's going to have empty space on it, or what you call negative space. I finished tonight's block. We'll trim it up and post pictures tomorrow. Great. I'm excited to see what you post. And I'll be posting the block from tonight also after I trim it on both the communities tab and on the Facebook group. So if anybody else is doing this block and you get it finished, one thing, if you don't use Facebook, let me drop my email here so that if you are doing this block from the book, you can email it and I will post it on the community tab of YouTube for you guys. I also have Instagram, but I don't have a GreenlandQuilter Instagram page. I keep trying to set one up and it won't let me for some weird reason. I'm not sure what the problem is. Keep saying I can't do that. I have a personal Instagram, so a lot of times I just post all my GreenlandQuilter stuff on it. Because I really don't, I mean, I post some personal stuff on it sometimes, but mostly my Facebook and my Flickr pages where I post a lot of my pictures. Speaking of Flickr, I need to upload a bunch of pictures. So what I'm doing is I'm pinning this one side on and I'm going to go ahead and sew it on first. I'm just making sure I have all my seams lined up properly. I have all three, but I don't like the cutting instructions. You mean all three of the blocks, Zaza? From the book? Yeah, the book is very vague. You cut and you figure it out. Okay. But I don't like the cutting instructions I have. I'm assuming you're talking about these blocks, right, Zaza? Dee of Sister Chicks had it on her live yesterday. She had what on her live yesterday, John? Because I'll go have a look. channel stalled or something. I don't know. I think salsa means the boxes of quilt blocks. Oh, gotcha. The Indian maiden quilt. Yes, John Harris. Ah, then I'll have to go have a look at it because I would like to see a picture of it. Is that what they're calling it? Is the Indian maiden instead of the Native American maiden? I heard it was beautiful. I can't wait to see it. Janice says, true, Zaza. I usually draw them out on graph paper and figure out the instructions. Yeah, that's what I have to do too. Like with this block I'm working on right now, or this little mini wall hanging quilt I'm working on. Where's my little notepad? Oh, what did I do with it? I don't have access to graph paper, so I just use this handy little notebook and see what I did. This is what I want the block to look like, by the way. Only thing I changed it, you notice I have it blue over here. I decided to put orange there. That's the only difference. I changed my mind of using blue. Okay, John, I was just wondering. Okay, now we're going to put the other side on. I forgot I had drew the picture up so you could see what I was talking about. And so, you know, on this right here, I used for the half squares, I made 4.5-inch half squares. So any where there's the solid blocks, those were yeah. It was either 4.5 or 4.25. I'll have to remeasure. To give you the correct, if anyone wants me to share this on, you know, in the group, I don't mind sharing it. All right, let's get this other side pinned on. So while I'm doing this, I'll talk to you for a minute. Tomorrow night, on my live, Janice, Shonda, and Sharice is going to be with me on tomorrow's live. I will be starting my Tula Pink month 1 sew along that I'm doing to make my granddaughter's quilt. So that's what I'll be working on. Janice, Sharice, and Shonda will have projects they will be working on, and we're going to be sewing and talking and just having a really good time. This will be the first time that all of us have sewn together And I think it might be the first time for Janice and Shonda and Sharice, I believe. Janice, have you sung with Shonda before? Because I think this is the first time y'all will be meeting on a live in a Zoom. And I definitely know it'll be a first for Sharice and all of y'all. That is awesome, sewing with friends. Yep. I sent you an email, Teresa. I sent it last night, I think. Or yesterday. I don't remember exactly what time I sent it. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I don't remember. Yeah, see? So this will be, I think it's going to be fun because I'm pretty sure none of us have, now I've sung with all three of you guys one-on-one. But I think it's going to be fun watching you guys interacting with one another and getting to know each other. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to us sewing together. I think we're going to have a great time. That did not go through the seam where I wanted it. There it went. Now it went through. Okay, let's get this one done. And I have lots of work to do tomorrow. I have to cut for all those month one blocks, which is going to I think most of it's paper piecing. So we'll see how many of them I manage to sew tomorrow night. I might not get any of them done because I'll be too busy jabbing. Jabbering. Hey, babe, how are you going over there on your build?
Good so far.
Do you have anything to show yet? Right, let me spotlight you so that you want this camera or this camera. You can put it under here if you want, and I can spotlight.
So far, it's just like this.
Wait a minute, let me spotlight.
So far, it's just like this. Some areas has been added and instructions manual, but it's still work in progress.
Just up close to the camera so I can see it.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
This is so far how it looks like.
Very interesting, honey.
It's a big project. It's gonna be big when it's done. Yeah.
What kind of batteries does it take?
Double A's.
Okay, so we have those so that when awesome. All righty. We're almost get this side done, and then I think I'm gonna call it after that. Helen says, very cool, Nico. Cool Tanon says, your Lego making is awesome. And then Patty G says, very nice, Nikolaj.
Thank you.
Yep, this is his last weekend home, y'all. And then he's got to go back to work next week. He flies out of here Saturday morning, which sucks. And Zaza says all 3 boxes. Gotcha. Okay. All right. I'm almost got this pinned, and then I'll iron after I sew it, I'll iron it and show you where I am on that. And then I will you'll get a chance to see this again when I get it all the way completed. Do y'all think that this block I'm working on looks modern enough? I think it does. I mean, I'm using probably non-modern styled fabric, but I think it looks pretty cool. I was going to do purple and then I changed my mind. Nora, you are right in my spot. And I think my chair sunk back down again. Pat says yes, it looks very modern. That was my goal, is to make it look modern. I don't know if I want to press these seams open right here or leave them to one side. Because I've been pressing all the seams open on this the whole time, you know? But it might lay down better if I did. I don't know. Make that decision in a little bit. Okay, we got that one side pressed. This is going to be a good sized little quilt. Yep. That's why I asked where you were on stuff.
Finish book 1 first.
Okay, so you still have how many books after that to do?
3.
So if you manage to do 1 tomorrow night, and then do you think Thursday we'll have the third one done or no?
Okay.
Or what do you want to do? Or you want to do some of it tomorrow before the live? That way you have a head start.
I can work with book 2 tomorrow.
Okay.
And book 3 on the next live.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. That way, because I thought that maybe Friday you would want to not be on the live. I'll have to be on the live. Okay. This is where I am now. Zaza, I think you are behind in the live. Okay, this is what it looks like, but you're right. It does have a bit of a Native American vibe to it. And I wasn't even thinking about that when I chose these colors. Hi, Joy T.
Hi, Georgie.
Hello, Sean. Welcome, welcome.
Good night, mate. Let's see.
Janice says, lovely. Yeah, it's going to be a good size wall hanging, that's for sure. But it definitely will be longer than it is wide. Because the width of it is as wide as I'm going to go with it. Now all I got to do is get the rest of the top done and the bottom done. Judy says, gotta go. Hope to catch you tomorrow. Yep, I hope I see you on the live tomorrow. Have a nice evening and thank you for coming to the live. Okay, so that's where I am now. And like I was saying, hang on a minute. Let me pin this to the board. I will show you again what the plan is, along with the picture I drew, so you know what I'm doing. All right, where's that? I haven't decided on. I may just leave the top, just the one single flying geese up there at the top, and do what I planned on the bottom, like I did with the drawing of the drawing in the picture. And I'll show you the drawing one more time, so you see what my plans are. And when I get this finished, I'll take a picture of the finished block itself, or the finished quilt top itself, and then I'm planning on quilting this and getting it all put together, and it'll be a wall hanging for a gift for someone. But that's what the top half will look like. And then let me show you the drawing one more time. This is the drawing. I'm wondering if I shouldn't turn those the flying geese on the bottom. I'm wondering if I shouldn't turn them so that they're going downward instead of up. What do you guys think about that? Should they stay up the way I got them, or should I flip them around? Thank you, Joy T. She says up, or Pat says up. Okay. Quiltanon says she likes it the way I have it too. Okay. Sean, yep, relax and have fun. Thank you for coming, Sean. What's Nico working on?
It's a crane truck.
Hand me the book and I'll show it to her. This is a Lego Technic crane truck. And it will work when you put batteries in it. What time is it now? Let me see. Yep, we have 5 minutes left, babe. And then I'm going to stop. Okay, well, I thought I would get these flying geese made real fast.
I'm done with it.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I would get the flying geese done, at least, or a part of them, before I shut down.
Jesus.
We still got one blue one and 2 orange ones. These other blue ones I might use somewhere else or on something else. And those remaining orange one. Okay. All right. Did you guys enjoy tonight? What did you think about that finished block? I'll show that block one more time that we did tonight. I'll show both blocks. This was the block we did 2 weeks ago from the 1,000 block book. This one's called French Twist. And the one we done tonight from the same book is called Railroad Crossing. That's what we done tonight. And then 2 weeks from now, we will be doing, what was that block called again? It was called, now where is it? I forgot the name of it now. Oh, let me give you all the page number. Hang on a minute. I got to go look at that block again. Hold on. Facebook, where are you? I didn't put the page number on here. Hold on, I gotta find it again. I don't know why I did. Darn it.
What's the name of the book again? Joy to us.
The book is called, oh, and John mentioned, hang on a second, you guys. John mentioned that it's worded different on hang on a minute, y'all. I'm trying to find that piece of paper I wrote it on. Why is it I lose things in this house? Oh, here it is. I found it. Come on. It's the book is called Quiltmakers 1,000 Blocks, but if you buy the book from Amazon, look for it as Quilter's 1,000 Block. And yeah, what Pat said, 190 or 491. And the name of the block is called Above and Beyond, and it's block number 968, and as Pat said, page 491. That's what we're going to build next. And I will make sure in my description box and over on the Facebook group and over on the community tab, I'll repost the link on Amazon for that book now that someone has told me the updated wording of it for Amazon. And that was probably why I couldn't find it to start with, because it was there and then it was gone again. That's what we'll be doing. Okay, tomorrow it's Janice, Charisse, and Shonda will be with me. I will be working on my first month of Tula Pink. That's what I'm going to be doing. They will show you their project that they plan on working on. So we will start at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So come and join us as the four of us sew together. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And then next Tuesday will be episode 3 of What Do You Know About Greenland? We'll be starting that. That'll be our last live. Not last live as in no more Greenland lives. That's not what I'm saying. It'll be our last live until he comes back from his mistress. So then we'll restart back up on What Do You Know About Greenland. And by then there'll be some, hopefully he'll have some footage from Iceland, because they're going to be fishing off Iceland. So he has to fly to Iceland. to get on board. And so there'll be some helicopter flying going on that he might be able to shoot some footage of, and also shoot some footage or pictures from Iceland. And then when do you think you'll be back? About let's see, March, probably first part of May.
Probably.
Yeah, somewhere around the first part of May, he should be home again. And then he'll be home for May and June, and then he has to go back in July. So, yep. Katie is under both names. It's under both names. Okay, got you. Thank you, John. I appreciate the update, because when I looked, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago, I got a 404 saying it wasn't even there. So strange. Okay. And then let me see if there's anything else I need to update you on. Not at the moment, but I'll have more updates for you tomorrow night at the beginning of the live. So thank you for coming tonight. Remember to live, laugh, love, and dream. And what do you do with all that? You make something beautiful. Thank you for coming tonight. I'll see you on the next live, and have a great evening, everyone. Good night.
Bye.
Okay, we're now off, except for the Zoom. I'm fixing to turn the Zoom